There exists a prayer so powerful that mystics across centuries have whispered warnings about its use. Not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well. This isn't a prayer you recite, hoping for divine mercy. This is a command spoken in the language that predates human speech, the tongue angels used before the fall, the frequency that bends reality itself. They call it Enochian. And if you speak it correctly, the universe doesn't have a choice but to listen. But before you learn this prayer, you need to understand why it was hidden, who tried to bury it, and what happens when ordinary people access power they weren't supposed to have. Because this isn't about faith. This is about physics, frequency, and the one man who walked between worlds and returned with a knowledge so dangerous that religious institutions spent centuries making sure you'd never hear his full story. His name was Enoch, and the language he brought back wasn't meant for casual conversation. It was meant to create, to command, to open doors in reality that stay closed for everyone else. But the doors swing both ways, and once you speak the words, there's no taking them back. Let's start with what they don't teach you in church. Enoch wasn't just a good man who pleased God. That's the sanitized version, the story scrubbed clean of anything that might make you question the narrative. The book of Genesis mentions him in passing. Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away. 5 words that hide the most important story in human history. They removed his book from the Bible. Not because it was false, but because it was too true. The book of Enoch describes his trips through multiple dimensions of heaven, his conversations with archangels, his witnessing of cosmic laws that govern reality itself. And buried in those pages is something that terrifies those who benefit from your spiritual ignorance. Proof that humans can access divine power directly, without permission, without intermediaries, without submission. Enoch didn't pray to God. He spoke with God. There's a difference. Prayer assumes distance, assumes you're down here and divinity is up there. Speaking assumes you're meeting as equals, as beings operating on compatible frequencies. And that's exactly what Enoch did. He raised his frequency so high that his physical body couldn't contain him anymore. He didn't die. He transformed. Right there, while still alive, he became Metatron, an archangel so powerful that Jewish mysticism describes him as sitting next to the divine throne itself. Think about that. A human became an archangel, not through death, not through resurrection, through conscious elevation, through understanding how reality actually works. And the method he used involved a specific form of sound, a precise arrangement of phonetic frequencies that today we call Enochian. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think ancient languages are dead, that they're just historical artifacts. But language isn't arbitrary, especially not the old ones. Every syllable in Hebrew, Sanskrit, Aramaic. These weren't random sounds grouped together. They were intentional, constructed to carry specific vibrational patterns that interact with the energy field we call reality. Modern English is weak. It's been diluted, stripped of its power, reduced to a communication vehicle with no creative force behind it. But the ancient tongues? Those were different. When a Hebrew mystic spoke the Tetragrammaton, the 4-letter name of God, they weren't just saying a word, they were activating a frequency. They were sending a signal into the fabric of existence that caused ripples, changes, manifestations. Enochian takes this to another level entirely. It's not even a human language. It's the language Enoch learned from angels during his dimensional trips. It's pre-Babel, pre-corruption, pre-confusion. It's the original operating system of creation. And when you speak it, you're not making requests. You're issuing commands to the very structure of reality. This isn't superstition. Let's look at what science now confirms. Cymatics, the study of visible sound, shows us that specific frequencies create specific geometric patterns. When you play certain tones through water or sand, they form precise shapes, hexagons, spirals, stars, mandalas. These aren't random. They're the visual expression of vibrational information. Dr. Masaru Emoto spent years photographing water crystals exposed to different words and sounds. Water exposed to love, gratitude, and prayer formed beautiful, symmetrical crystals. Water exposed to hate, anger, and curse words formed chaotic, broken patterns. Your body is 70% water. Every cell in you responds to sound, to frequency, to the vibrational quality of words spoken around you and by you. Quantum physics goes further. The observer effect proves that conscious attention changes the behavior of particles at the subatomic level. Reality at its most basic is not fixed, it's responsive. It reacts to observation, to measurement, to intention. The double-slit experiment demonstrated this decades ago. Yet most people still live as if reality is solid, unchangeable, independent of their consciousness. But the ancient masters knew better. They knew that reality is fluid, that it's a frequency field responding to coherent signals. And the most coherent signals come from focused sound, combined with clear intention. That's why every mystical tradition on earth emphasizes sacred sound. Mantras in Hinduism, liturgical chanting in Christianity, Quranic recitation in Islam, Qi in martial arts, Heka in Egyptian magic. They all understood what modern society forgot. Your voice is not just an expression, it's a force. Enochian amplifies this force exponentially because it bypasses the conscious mind entirely. You can say an English word, and your brain immediately starts interpreting it, analyzing it, doubting it. But Enochian sounds don't trigger your analytical mind. They go straight to your subconscious, to your energy body, to the part of you that remembers how to command reality before you forgot. The prayer itself is simple, deceptively so. 1 minute of specific phonetic patterns spoken with absolute conviction. No room for doubt, no space for second guessing. Just pure, focused intent channeled through sounds that resonate at frequencies most humans never access. And when spoken correctly, the effect is immediate. But here's the critical part. This prayer doesn't ask. It declares. It doesn't beg the universe for favors. It states what is now true, and reality, being the responsive field that it is, has to comply. Not because you're special, not because you deserve it, but because you spoke the words that activate the law. Think of it like this. Your normal prayers are like knocking on a door, hoping someone inside hears you and decides to open it. The Enochian prayer is like having the key, walking in and sitting down. There's no waiting, there's no maybe. There's just the action and the result. And that's exactly why it was hidden. Because if everyone knew they could command reality instead of begging for scraps, the entire power structure of this world would collapse. Religions need you dependent. Institutions need you obedient. Governments need you afraid. But someone who can speak directly to the creative force of the universe and see immediate results. That person doesn't need any of them. Now, before we get to the actual prayer, you need to understand the mechanics. Because this isn't magic in the fairy tale sense. This is energy work. This is applied metaphysics. This is you learning to operate at a frequency that most people never access. Because they're too busy drowning in the noise of modern life. Everything is vibration. That's not spiritual talk. It's physics. Atoms vibrate. Molecules vibrate. Your thoughts create electrical patterns in your brain. Your emotions generate electromagnetic signatures from your heart. Every single thing in this universe is energy moving at different rates. What you call solid matter is just energy vibrating slowly. What you call consciousness is energy vibrating very, very fast. When you speak, you create sound waves, literal vibrations moving through air. But you're also creating energetic imprints that move through the quantum field. Words carry information beyond their meaning. They carry intention, emotion, belief. And when those elements align, when your words, your intent, and your emotional state all point in the same direction, you create what's called coherence. And coherent energy affects reality in measurable ways. The HeartMath Institute has documented this extensively. They've shown that when a person enters a coherent state, when their heart rhythm, brain waves, and breathing sync up, they emit an electromagnetic field that can be measured up to 10 feet away. This field affects other people, animals, even machines. Now imagine that coherence focused through ancient phonetic patterns, specifically designed to resonate with universal creative frequencies. That's what Enochian does. But there's a reason this power was kept secret. Not everyone is ready for it. Not everyone should have it, because power without wisdom is destruction. And history is filled with examples of people who accessed sacred knowledge and used it for ego, for control, for harm. The Atlanteans had this knowledge. They built an entire civilization around frequency technology. They used crystals, sound chambers, and consciousness manipulation to create what seemed like miracles. They could heal with tones. They could move massive stones with focused vibration. They could communicate across vast distances through resonance. They were, by all accounts, gods walking the earth. And then they fell, because some of them forgot that power exists to serve life, not to dominate it. They started using frequency technology for control instead of harmony. They weaponized sound. They corrupted the very forces that had lifted them to greatness. And the universe responded with balance. The civilization collapsed, sank, disappeared. And the knowledge went with it. Or so they thought, but knowledge doesn't die. It hibernates. It waits for those who are ready to use it correctly. Enoch was one who received it. He was deemed worthy not because he was perfect, but because he was aligned. His life was in harmony with universal law. He didn't seek power for power's sake. He sought understanding. And that understanding changed him at such a basic level that his physical form couldn't contain him anymore. That's what happens when you truly master this work. You don't just get what you want. You become something else entirely. You outgrow limitation. You step beyond the rules that govern ordinary existence. And yes, that sounds incredible. It sounds like fantasy. But it's documented across every mystical tradition that ever existed. The Tibetan monks who achieved rainbow body didn't die. Their physical forms dissolved into light. The Christian saints who experienced bilocation weren't hallucinating. They were operating at frequencies that allowed them to exist in multiple locations simultaneously. The shamans who could communicate with spirits weren't crazy. They were accessing dimensions of reality that most people's consciousness never reaches. And all of them used sound. All of them used sacred speech. All of them understood that the voice is the bridge between thought and reality, between imagination and manifestation, between what is and what can be. The Enochian prayer operates on this principle. It's not asking God to do something. It's activating your own divine nature. Because here's the secret they really don't want you to know. You're not separate from God. You're not a broken, sinful creature needing salvation. You're a frequency of consciousness temporarily experiencing limitation. And when you remember how to speak the original language, you remember how to command the original forces. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods?" He wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was telling you literal truth. You are divine. You always were. You just forgot. And the systems of this world have spent thousands of years making sure you stay forgetful. The prayer I'm about to share isn't from some dusty grimoire or forbidden text that requires secret initiation. It exists in plain sight, scattered across Enochian manuscripts, whispered through hermetic circles, preserved by those who understood its power but feared its misuse. I'm not giving you something new. I'm reminding you of something ancient that lives in your DNA, in your soul memory, in the part of you that never forgot how to speak creation into being. But before you use it, answer these questions honestly. Why do you want this power? What will you do with it? Are you ready for your life to change completely? Because it will. The moment you speak these words with true conviction, you set forces in motion that don't stop. You open a door that doesn't close. You activate something in yourself that's been dormant, and once awake, it doesn't go back to sleep. This isn't a game. This isn't a technique to try when you're bored. This is serious work with serious consequences. The universe doesn't judge your intentions as good or bad. It just responds. You speak the frequency, it delivers the result. What you do with that result is on you. Here's what the prayer does. It aligns your personal frequency with the creative frequency of the cosmos. It announces to reality itself that you are stepping into your role as a conscious creator, not a passive victim. It declares that limitation is no longer your truth, that scarcity is no longer your story, that powerlessness is no longer your identity. And when you speak it from that place of absolute knowing, reality restructures itself around your declaration. The actual words are phonetic sequences that bypass your conscious mind. They sound strange. They feel awkward at first. But that's because your mind doesn't know what to do with them. And that's exactly the point. Your analytical mind is the barrier between you and your power. It doubts, questions, fears. But these sounds go around it. They speak directly to the field. The prayer goes like this, and I'm giving you the transliteration because the original symbols aren't readable here. Oil sont vors G, goho ayad balt, lanch kalds vonfo, sobra ze olror itanasbs, odi grata malparg, dies hoelku, Kua noth hoa zims, o di comata noblo zien, soba thil gnon perge aldi, dis urbs obole gi ersam, kasarm ohorela tabapir, des zonrensg kab erm yadna. Before you dismiss this as nonsense, understand what you're looking at. These are not random sounds. Each phoneme carries a specific frequency. Each combination creates a harmonic pattern. When spoken aloud with focused intention, they create a standing wave in the quantum field that acts as a command structure. Think of it as coding reality. You're entering a program that reality has no choice but to run. But here's the thing. Most people who try this fail, not because the prayer doesn't work, but because they don't prepare themselves. They think they can just read it off a screen, mumble through it, and expect miracles. That's like thinking you can play a piano concerto by randomly hitting keys. The notes are the same, but the music isn't there. You need preparation. First, your mind must be clear, not just calm, clear. Meditation helps. Fasting helps. Anything that reduces the noise in your head and lets your consciousness settle into clarity. You can't command reality while you're drowning in mental chatter. The static interferes with the signal. Second, your intention must be specific. Don't speak this prayer with vague wishes. The universe doesn't respond to maybes, it responds to declarations. What exactly are you commanding into existence? See it, feel it, know it as if it already is. Because in the quantum field, it already is. You're just collapsing the probability wave into physical manifestation. Third, your emotion must support your words. The Enochian sounds carry the program, but your emotional frequency provides the power. If you're speaking the words while feeling doubt, fear, or unworthiness, you're sending mixed signals. The prayer might activate, but the result will be confused, weak, or delayed. You need absolute conviction. You need to feel it in your bones, in your blood, in every cell. This is not hope. This is knowing. Fourth, and this is critical, you must be willing to receive. Most people sabotage their own manifestations because they can't handle the reality of their power. They ask for something, then freak out when it starts showing up. They second-guess themselves. They tell themselves it's too good to be true. They create resistance, and resistance blocks the flow. When you speak the Enochian prayer, you're opening a channel. Energy will move through that channel. Opportunities will appear. Synchronicities will multiply. Things will start happening that seem impossible, unlikely, or just plain strange. Don't question it. Don't analyze it. Just move with it. Say yes to the doors that open. Follow the signs. Trust the process. And here's the warning you need to hear. Be very, very careful what you command. Because you will get it. Maybe not in the exact form you imagined. Maybe not on your timeline, but the universe will deliver. And if what you asked for isn't actually aligned with your highest good, you're going to learn a hard lesson. There are countless stories of people who used this prayer for money and got it, through a lawsuit, a death benefit, an accident settlement. They got the money, but they also got the trauma that came with it. The universe doesn't judge, it just responds to frequency. If your frequency is desperate, fearful, or grasping, that's what will manifest. If your frequency is aligned, clear, and worthy, that's what manifests. This is why the ancient masters emphasized spiritual development before power. You don't give a loaded weapon to a child. You don't hand sacred knowledge to someone who hasn't done the inner work to use it responsibly. The Enochian prayer is a loaded weapon. It will fire. And where it hits depends entirely on where you're aiming. So before you speak these words, do the work. Clean up your life. Face your shadows. Heal your wounds. Get clear on what you actually want, not what you think you want or what others told you to want. Because this prayer will bring you exactly what you ask for. And if what you're asking for is born from ego, trauma, or unconscious programming, you're going to manifest a nightmare dressed as a dream. Now let's talk about timing. There's a reason mystical texts emphasize specific days, moon phases, and planetary alignments. It's not superstition, it's energy dynamics. The universe moves in cycles. There are times when the field is more receptive, when the veil between dimensions is thinner, when your commands have more power because the cosmic frequency supports them. The best times to speak this prayer are at dawn, at the exact moment the sun breaks the horizon, or at dusk as day transitions to night. These threshold moments, when one state becomes another, are openings. Reality is more flexible during transitions. Your words can slip through the cracks more easily. The full moon amplifies emotion, so if your emotional clarity is strong, that's a powerful time. The new moon is for planting seeds, for beginning cycles, for commanding new realities into being. But honestly, if you're truly aligned, timing matters less. The masters could manifest any time because they had complete mastery over their own frequency. They didn't need cosmic support because they were their own cosmic force. But if you're just starting this work, use every advantage you can get. Speak the prayer out loud. Whispers won't cut it. Your voice needs to move through space, creating actual sound waves that interact with air molecules, with walls, with the environment. Your voice is an extension of your will. Let it be heard, let it be felt, let it be known. Speak it 3 times, not 2, not 4, 3. There's a reason that number appears in every mystical tradition. It represents manifestation, thought, word, deed, spirit, mind, body, past, present, future. 3 is the number of creation completed. 3 repetitions lock the command into reality, and after you speak it, let it go. Don't sit there wondering if it worked. Don't check your phone every 5 minutes expecting instant results. You planted the seed. Now let it grow. The universe doesn't operate on your schedule. It operates on perfect timing. Sometimes manifestations appear immediately. Sometimes they take weeks. Sometimes they take longer because the universe needs to rearrange circumstances, move people, create opportunities that didn't exist before. Your job is to speak the command, then live as if it's already done. Act from the place of having it, not wanting it. That's the secret most people miss. They speak the words, then go right back to their old frequency of lack. They affirm abundance, then immediately worry about bills. They command health, then obsess over symptoms. That's not faith. That's not knowing, that's just noise. When Enoch walked with God, He didn't pray for worthiness. He lived worthy. He didn't ask for permission to access higher dimensions. He prepared himself to exist there, and when he was ready, he went. No struggle, no drama, just a natural progression from one state to another. That's what this prayer can do for you if you use it correctly. It doesn't make you special. It reminds you that you already are. It doesn't grant you power. It activates the power you've always had, but were taught to forget. It doesn't change reality. It changes your relationship with reality, and that changes everything. But let me be absolutely clear about something. This prayer is not a cheat code. It's not a shortcut around spiritual development. It's an accelerator for those who have done the work. If you're still carrying massive trauma, if you're still addicted to victim consciousness, if you're still blaming everyone else for your circumstances, this prayer will either do nothing or backfire spectacularly. Because what you're really doing when you speak Enochian is announcing to the universe that you're ready to play at a higher level. And higher levels come with higher stakes. You can't claim divine power while still clinging to human limitation. You can't command reality while still believing you're powerless. You can't create from abundance while still living in scarcity consciousness. This is where most people fail. They want the results without the transformation. They want the magic without the mastery. They want to use sacred words like they're using a vending machine. Put in your request. Get your prize. But consciousness doesn't work that way. You are the magic. The words are just the key that unlocks what's already inside you. And once unlocked, there's no going back. You can't unknow what you know. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't return to your old limitations once you've tasted freedom. Enoch didn't come back from heaven saying, "That was nice, but I think I'll stay human." Once he saw what was possible, once he experienced what he truly was, staying small wasn't an option. The same will happen to you. Speak this prayer with conviction. See results, and you'll never be able to pretend you're powerless again. You'll never be able to buy into victimhood again. You'll never be able to hand your authority over to anyone again. Because you'll know beyond any doubt that you create your reality, and that knowing changes everything. This is what they feared. This is why Enoch's book was banned. This is why mystery schools operated in secret. This is why true power was always hidden behind layers of symbolism, ritual, and initiation. Not to keep it from the masses, but to protect the masses from themselves. Because power without wisdom destroys. Knowledge without character corrupts. Ability without responsibility leads to chaos. If you're reading this now, it's because you're ready. Or at least part of you is. Another part might be terrified. That's normal. That's healthy. That's your survival mechanism doing its job, warning you that you're about to step off the map into unmarked territory. But beyond the fear is freedom. Beyond the uncertainty is knowing. Beyond the limitation is everything you came here to be. The Enochian prayer is your inheritance. It's not something you need to earn through years of study or decades of practice. It's already yours. It's always been yours. You just forgot. Every human has access to this language because every human is divine at their core. The difference is that most people never remember. Most people live and die without ever activating their true nature. But you're different. You wouldn't be here otherwise. Something in you knows there's more. Something in you remembers what the world tried to make you forget. Something in you is ready to stop asking for permissions and start claiming your birthright. So here's what you do. Find a quiet space. Turn off your phone. Light a candle if that helps you focus. Take 3 deep breaths all the way down into your belly. Feel your body. Feel the energy moving through you. Acknowledge that you are alive, conscious, aware. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness experiencing both. Now call up your intention. What are you commanding into reality? See it clearly, feel it fully, know it absolutely. Don't wish for it. Don't hope for it. Declare it. Claim it. Own it. This is already yours in the quantum field. You're just bringing it into physical form. Speak the prayer. Slowly at first, let your mouth learn the shapes. Let your voice find the rhythm. Then speak it again with more power. Feel each sound resonating in your chest, your throat, your head. Feel the words moving through you and out into space. Feel them creating ripples in the field around you. Speak it a third time with absolute conviction. No doubt, no hesitation, no fear, just pure, focused will channeled through ancient sounds that reality recognizes and obeys. And when you finish, sit in silence. Don't analyze. Don't question. Just breathe and know that it is done. What happens next is between you and the universe. Some people report immediate shifts, sudden opportunities, unexpected messages, chance encounters that aren't chance at all. Others notice subtle changes first, better sleep, clearer thinking, synchronicities increasing, and some experience the full force immediately. Reality rearranging itself so fast, it's almost frightening. Whatever your experience, trust it. You set something in motion, the wheels are turning, the universe is responding. Your job now is to stay aligned, stay clear, and stay open to receive in whatever form the manifestation appears. But remember this, with great power comes great responsibility. You're not just playing with words anymore, you're operating actual creative force. You're issuing commands that the universe must follow. And if you misuse this, if you hurt others through selfish manifestation, if you create from ego instead of alignment, the universe has a way of teaching hard lessons. Karma isn't punishment, it's feedback. It's the universe showing you what you're creating, what you're broadcasting, what frequency you're operating from. Use this prayer to manipulate, control, or harm, and you'll experience manipulation, control, and harm. That's not threat, that's law. Energy returns to its source. What you send out comes back. But use it from a place of love, of service, of genuine desire to uplift yourself and others, and you'll find doors opening you didn't know existed. You'll find opportunities appearing that seem impossible. You'll find life flowing with an ease and grace that feels almost magical. Because you're working with universal law instead of against it. You're swimming downstream instead of fighting the current. Enoch walked with God because he aligned himself with divine frequency. He didn't beg. He didn't plead. He didn't bargain. He simply was. And that beingness was so pure, so clear, so aligned that he transformed right there. While still alive, he became what he truly was underneath the human costume. He became Metatron, the voice of God, the scribe of heaven, the one who sits beside the throne. And that same transformation is available to you, not because you're special, but because you're human. And human beings, when they remember what they really are, become something far more than what this world told them they could be. The Enochian prayer is one path. There are others. But this one is direct. This one is fast. This one cuts through all the spiritual bypassing and gets straight to the heart of creation itself. It's not for everyone. Some people need gentler paths, slower progressions, more gradual awakenings. But if you're here, if you've read this far, if something in you is saying yes despite the fear, then this path might be yours. Just know what you're stepping into. This isn't Christianity light. This isn't New Age affirmations dressed up in old language. This is ancient power technology that's been hidden precisely because it works. And when it works, everything changes. Your relationships change because you change. Your career changes because you change. Your entire life restructures itself around your new frequency. Some people won't understand. Some people will pull away. Some people will call you crazy, dangerous, or delusional. Let them. Their opinion doesn't affect your reality unless you give it power. And the truth is, they're not reacting to you. They're reacting to what you represent, the possibility that everything they believe about limitation might be wrong. And for people deeply invested in their limitations, that possibility is terrifying. But their fear is not your concern. Your concern is living your truth, speaking your power, and claiming the life you came here to create. And if that means walking alone for a while, so be it. Enoch walked alone too. Most masters do. Because the path of power is not the path of popularity. It's the path of authenticity, integrity, and absolute commitment to truth. So speak the prayer. See what happens. Test it. Challenge it. Don't take my word or anyone else's word. Prove it to yourself. Because that's the only proof that matters. And if it works, when it works, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Teach it. Pass it on to those who are ready. Because sacred knowledge isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to spread, to grow, to lift humanity back to the frequency we fell from. That's why Enoch's story is resurfacing now, in this exact moment of history. Because we're at a similar crossroads. Technology advancing faster than wisdom, humanity disconnected from source, control systems tightening around consciousness. We need people who remember how to access real power, who understand that we're not victims of circumstance, but creators of reality, who can speak the language that commands the universe instead of begging it. You are one of those people. You wouldn't be here otherwise. The prayer found you because you're ready for it. Now the question is, what will you do with it? Will you speak it once, see some results, then forget about it and go back to your comfortable limitations? Or will you use it as the doorway it was meant to be, the beginning of a complete transformation from human limitation into divine expression? The choice is yours. It always has been. Free will is the one law even the universe won't violate. You get to choose. You get to decide. You get to determine what frequency you operate from, what reality you create, what life you live. The Enochian prayer is just reminding you that you have that power. You've always had it, you just forgot. Now you remember. So what are you going to do about it?